There are moments in history so mysterious, so powerful, that they force the world to stop and listen, even when no one is speaking. This is one of those moments. What if I told you an aircraft, one, so advanced, so silent, it couldn't be seen, heard, or tracked, just struck deep inside Israel and disappeared without a trace. No warning, no radar, no claim of responsibility. Israel is shocked. The world completely silent. This isn't just about one explosion. It's about the beginning of a new kind of warfare, one that rewrites the rules, challenges the powerful, and exposes the truth hidden behind global silence. In the next few minutes, we're going to uncover the layers of this event, from the attack itself to the silence that followed, from the fear it planted to the power it revealed. So, don't blink, don't scroll, don't miss a single second, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why this wasn't just a strike, it was a signal, and the world will never be the same again. An unidentified aircraft recently launched a highly sophisticated and surgical strike on a sensitive Israeli military or intelligence installation, sending shockwaves through the region. What made this event so extraordinary was not just the attack itself, but the nature of the aircraft. Silent, stealthy, and completely untraceable. Unlike conventional fighter jets or drones, this craft left no detectable radar signature, no visual confirmation from witnesses, and no electronic signals that could be tracked or traced. It simply entered Israeli airspace, executed its mission with pinpoint precision, and disappeared into the night as if it had never existed. The target was not random. It was a site of strategic significance, possibly an air defense radar station, a covert intelligence hub, or even a weapons depot, suggesting that the operators behind the aircraft had access to highly classified intelligence. The accuracy of the strike demonstrated not only advanced aerial navigation capabilities, but also real-time data coordination and perhaps satellite synchronization. Surveillance systems, normally hypervigilant in such areas, were reportedly inactive or misdirected during the strike, indicating that jamming technologies or cyber infiltration tools may have been employed to blind Israel's defense systems during the critical window. The attack triggered a flurry of internal Israeli assessments. Initial responses from military officials were cloaked in ambiguity. No entity took public responsibility. Analysts quickly ruled out local groups due to the aircraft's advanced characteristics. This was no homemade drone or insurgent-made vehicle. Its sleek movement, precision-guided strike, and radar-evading behavior all pointed towards state-level technology, possibly the product of years of top-secret development. The situation became even more alarming when all attempts to trace the flight path of the aircraft failed. Satellite feeds, ground radars, and even signal intelligence networks detected no anomalies until the moment of detonation. That eerie silence, the complete absence of electronic noise before, during, and after the event, left defense experts baffled. The aircraft had entered one of the most surveilled and fortified airspaces in the world, executed a high-impact mission, and vanished, leaving Israel with nothing but questions and uncertainty. This mysterious aerial strike has opened a dangerous new chapter in regional warfare, introducing a weapon platform that may change the rules of engagement. The implications are chilling, not just for Israel, but for every nation that thought it had the skies under control. The aircraft involved in the strike demonstrated a level of technological superiority that has raised serious concerns among defense experts and intelligence agencies worldwide. This was not a conventional drone or manned fighter jet. It was a next-generation aerial platform capable of bypassing Israel's extensive multi-layer defense systems, including the Iron Dome, David Sling, and Arrow systems. These defense layers are considered some of the most advanced in the world, designed to detect, intercept, and neutralize threats at various altitudes and ranges. Yet this aircraft moved through them effortlessly, unseen and uninterrupted, highlighting a major technological gap that no one anticipated. What made the strike more alarming was the aircraft's stealth capabilities. It emitted no radar signature, detectable by standard defense systems, suggesting it was either built using advanced radar-absorbing materials or equipped with active electronic warfare systems that cloaked its presence. The craft seemed to be aware of the location and frequency of Israeli surveillance radars and managed to either jam them or navigate perfectly to avoid detection zones. This level of stealth is usually reserved for fifth-generation fighter jets operated by major superpowers, yet this aircraft executed its mission with even more subtlety, pointing to possibly an even newer, more secretive platform in play. In addition to stealth, the aircraft displayed superior precision. The strike hit a critical target with surgical accuracy, suggesting the use of advanced guidance systems, likely GPS-independent, possibly even AI-assisted. This indicates a level of autonomy rarely seen in drones or unmanned vehicles in active conflict zones. It is likely that the craft was pre-programmed with mission data and operated under minimal human control to reduce the chances of signal interception. Even more remarkable was its exit. After completing the mission, it vanished without leaving behind any heat signatures or communication intercepts. Infrared satellite systems and air defense radars across the region failed to track its escape path, which hints at advanced thermal masking or post-strike decoys used to confuse any pursuit. Some speculate that the aircraft used a suborbital or high-altitude trajectory for extraction, making it unreachable by conventional interceptor systems. Others believe it may have submerged into the sea or landed in an unmapped zone using VTOL, vertical takeoff and landing technology, which would explain the complete disappearance. This event has shattered previous assumptions about air superiority and highlighted a dangerous evolution in warfare capabilities. Following the mysterious attack, one of the most unsettling aspects was the global reaction, or rather, the lack of it. Major media outlets around the world either failed to report the incident entirely or mentioned it in vague, heavily sanitized terms, devoid of detail or context. In an age where even minor events in the Middle East tend to dominate international headlines, the near total silence from Western news agencies and regional broadcasters was both suspicious and telling. The event, which under ordinary circumstances would have triggered breaking news alerts, televised debates, and government condemnations, was instead buried beneath layers of distraction. This conspicuous absence of coverage led many to believe that either political pressure was applied behind the scenes to suppress reporting, or that there exists a higher level agreement to conceal the truth of the matter from the public. The silence extended beyond media circles. Global political leaders, usually quick to respond to security breaches involving Israel, offered no statements. Neither condemnation nor concern was expressed by the usual diplomatic voices in Washington, London, or Brussels. In the United Nations, a body known for its reactive press statements following any escalation in the region, there was no motion, no discussion, and no session called. This chilling quietness suggested a coordinated effort to downplay or erase the event from international consciousness, possibly to avoid stoking geopolitical tensions or emitting a major shift in power dynamics. Social media platforms, often a hotbed for real-time updates and leaked footage, showed an unusual absence of credible videos or eyewitness reports. Some users reported having their posts taken down or shadow banned shortly after sharing information about the incident. Algorithms that usually amplify trending topics failed to highlight anything related to the strike. This digital blackout added another layer to the mystery and sparked suspicions of algorithmic suppression or collaboration with intelligence agencies to prevent viral dissemination. This global silence didn't just obscure the facts, it amplified the psychological impact. It created a vacuum where fear, speculation, and confusion thrived. In the absence of answers, people began to ask bigger questions about who controls the narrative and why certain events are erased while others are magnified. For Israel, it meant confronting the possibility that even its most powerful allies were unwilling to publicly acknowledge a breach in its security. For the rest of the world, it marked a moment where truth was not only hidden, but systematically removed from the conversation altogether. The strategic impact of the mysterious aerial strike on Israel's defense infrastructure was both immediate and profound. As one of the most heavily fortified nations on earth, Israel has long relied on its multi-layered defense systems, intelligence dominance, and early warning networks to maintain an image of invincibility. The fact that a foreign aircraft, unidentified and undetected, could breach this layered shield sent shockwaves through the Israeli military establishment. The initial damage caused by the attack may have been limited to a single target, but the psychological and strategic fallout has rippled far beyond the blast radius. Internally, defense officials were forced to confront a nightmare scenario: the possibility that the nation's most sensitive military zones are no longer immune to infiltration. In response to the incident, Israel reportedly called for urgent intelligence reviews and rapid reassessment of its air defense protocols. Military analysts and cyber warfare specialists were activated to investigate not only the point of entry, but the system's failure that allowed the aircraft to evade detection. The Israeli Defense Forces, IDF, initiated silent internal audits, fearing that if one such aircraft could slip through, others might follow. Confidence in long-standing defense strategies was deeply shaken, especially considering the country's reliance on early interception systems like Iron Dome and radar towers linked to real-time monitoring centers. The failure to detect or respond to the incoming threat revealed a significant technological blind spot that could be exploited again. The breach also triggered panic within the Israeli political leadership. Behind closed doors, government officials held emergency sessions with security chiefs to discuss implications and prevent public panic. There was concern not only about the enemy's capabilities, but also about what this attack might signal to adversaries in the region. If Israel could be hit silently and precisely, what message did that send to Iran, Hezbollah, or other non-state actors watching from the sidelines? The event raised the stakes, implying that deterrence had been weakened and that even high-tech supremacy had limits. Military bases, airfields, and intelligence hubs were quietly put on high alert across the country, not in response to what had happened, but in fear of what could come next. This strike didn't just expose a tactical vulnerability, it shook the foundation of Israel's strategic doctrine. For a state that prides itself on knowing what's in the sky long before it crosses the border, the idea that something came and went without a trace is more than just a lapse. It's a warning that the battlefield has evolved. The aftermath of the aircraft strike has intensified speculation about a significant regional power shift, particularly involving Iran and its network of allied groups. Though no official claim of responsibility has emerged, intelligence circles and military analysts have been closely examining the possibility that this attack was orchestrated or at least enabled by Iran, either directly or through one of its proxies. The precision, stealth, and sophistication of the operation suggests access to state-grade technology, and few actors in the region possess the capability, motive, and boldness to challenge Israel in such a calculated way. Iran, with its growing arsenal of drones, missile systems, and electronic warfare units, fits that profile. In recent years, Tehran has invested heavily in asymmetrical warfare, perfecting techniques that allow it to wage war indirectly while maintaining plausible deniability. Groups aligned with Iran, such as Hezbollah in Lebanon, the Houthis in Yemen, or certain elements of the Iraqi Popular Mobilization Forces, have also demonstrated increasing technical competence. These groups have received training, hardware, and logistical support from Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps, and have carried out complex operations in other regions. The possibility that one of these entities executed the strike is very real. The psychological warfare aspect of the attack, executed silently without any claim of responsibility, fits with Tehran's growing use of ambiguity and psychological pressure in its regional strategy. The goal is often to weaken morale, create uncertainty, and erode the enemy's sense of control without triggering full-scale war. This incident may mark the emergence of a new phase in resistance strategy. Rather than overt conflict, the emphasis appears to be on demonstrating capability and confidence, sending a message to Israel, not just through words or threats, but through action that leaves a deep imprint. If Iran or its allies were indeed behind this, they have just introduced a game-changing method of engagement, one that dares to test Israel's dominance while avoiding direct confrontation. It also serves as a signal to other nations in the region that the balance of power is no longer so one-sided. The ability to strike with impunity, then vanish without trace, elevates the image of Iran's strategic reach and its readiness to use new forms of warfare to shift regional dynamics. This isn't just about one aircraft. It's about rewriting the rules of engagement in the Middle East. The psychological impact of the attack went far beyond the physical damage caused by the aircraft. While the target may have been a single military or intelligence site, the real victory for the attacker was in the realm of perception. Israel, long considered a fortress of surveillance and deterrence, found itself blindsided by an enemy it couldn't identify, track, or respond to. That uncertainty, who did this, how, and where are they now, became the most powerful weapon deployed. The psychological warfare component of this strike was as carefully calculated as the technical execution. It pierced not just radar systems, but the national psyche. It injected doubt into the Israeli defense establishment's most basic assumption that nothing can enter its airspace unnoticed. This wasn't just an attack. It was an unseen presence, a phantom that shattered the illusion of control. In military doctrine, perception often outweighs reality. When an enemy believes it can be hit at any time without warning, morale erodes, decision-making becomes reactive, and resources are drained trying to prevent the unpredictable. That is the brilliance and danger of psychological warfare. Israel was not attacked loudly. It was attacked silently. There was no air raid siren, no warning to civilians, no visible threat overhead. That very silence created a deeper fear, the fear of the unknown, of vulnerability in unexpected places, of an enemy that may already be inside the walls. For the broader Israeli public, the absence of explanation or accountability created a vacuum filled with speculation and fear. Rumors of a new stealth drone, a foreign power intervening, or a secret Israeli intelligence failure began to swirl. Confidence in the government's ability to protect the nation weakened, not because of widespread destruction, but because of the psychological wound inflicted by an invisible enemy. This is the essence of psychological operations. When one strike can trigger internal panic, create doubt in leadership, and force a powerful nation to look over its shoulder. Internationally, this tactic sent a message to other watching powers and resistance movements. Fear and confusion are tools just as effective as missiles. The aircraft didn't just vanish physically, it vanished into the minds of military planners and political leaders who now must confront a new, quieter form of warfare. One that operates in the shadows, speaks no threats, makes no claims, yet leaves nations stunned and uncertain. In a world where control is everything, this invisible strike robbed Israel of the one thing every powerful state fears losing, its sense of certainty. This was not just an attack, it was a message written in silence and precision. An aircraft with no name, no flag, and no trail struck the heart of one of the most secure nations on earth and vanished like a ghost. It exposed more than vulnerabilities in radar systems. It cracked the very foundation of certainty and control. While Israel reels from the shock and the world watches in silence, a new chapter of warfare has begun, one where shadows strike harder than sound and fear is delivered without warning. The rules are changing, and those who thought they controlled the skies are now forced to look up and wonder, what else is coming? Thank you for listening to this powerful reflection. May truth always rise above silence, and may your voice continue to challenge the narratives that hide in the shadows. Stay strong, stay aware, and never stop seeking what lies beneath the silence. Good luck, and may your journey toward understanding be bold and unshakable.